So welcome to the WhatsApp traffic and chat flow course. In this video, what we'll do is give an overview of what you're going to be doing and learning throughout this whole course and our whole process with how we think WhatsApp marketing works and how to manage your chat conversations. I think that one of the biggest issues that we've seen in managing your WhatsApp conversations is how to manage it better, how to organize your conversations, how to have a better response rate to your customers. And so what we're talking about in this introductory lesson is talk about the opportunity. So how have conversations transformed the way users are interacting, right? So if you think about how you're using your mobile phone, the majority of the time you're in your WhatsApp or you're in your messages. You're sending messages to your friends, family, and it's probably the easiest and most convenient way that you want to be doing and interacting with businesses as well. So we want to talk about the opportunity and why I think WhatsApp is the next big thing, and it's something that you have to capitalize on. The next thing is the WhatsApp funnel, and it's how do we bring new traffic with paid and organic channels to your WhatsApp, right? So what are the different ways in which you can bring people to WhatsApp? And we're going to do this so that you see what are the different points that you can use, and we'll show you in later lessons how to develop those entry points, right? So when we talk about driving traffic, we're going to be talking about own entry points. We're going to have further lessons on how to use them, how to install them, and best practices, and also paid entry points. So how do I use ads to bring traffic to my WhatsApp as well and increase the flow of people or chats or conversations that I'm having as well. And the last thing is the chat management. So what's the process to organize the conversations that we use? And so what we'll be talking about is, just understanding those entry points, understanding how that flow works and why this flow and process works and the funnel that we're building, and also how we're going to manage those conversations, right? So the way we like to do it is by having your same, stages of your funnel, and then having a timeline, activities, tags, questions, messages, tools that you'll be using in WhatsApp so that you can take the most advantage of using WhatsApp and actually increase the sales or results for your business or clients. So there's really never been a better time to be in the conversation business, right? I think we're starting, WhatsApp is growing, and so it's a great time to start understanding how to capitalize on all of that traffic and things that you're looking in your WhatsApp. And so regardless of the type of business, I think that especially if you're a doctor or you're working clinics, right? So you want to generate appointments and leads with potential customers or even recurring customers and remind them of appointments. This is a great way to do it, right? So if you're a restaurant, catering, or retail, like if you want to receive and manage delivery orders, and we've seen this and we work with this with a number of small businesses and small restaurants, it works great. Same thing with real estate. Customers want to get information on WhatsApp. They don't necessarily want to use email. It complements, but the best way to interact with them is with a WhatsApp message. So if we want to prospect, coordinate appointments as well, and prospect those leads within your funnel, is just a great way to do it. And same thing if you're in a B2B business and you want to coordinate appointments, leads, or other industries like tourism. It just really works in bringing conversations, leads, and prospect better than other channels. So regardless of the type of business that you are, especially if you're in these four or five, it works great, right? So the first thing is WhatsApp, and I think we all know that WhatsApp has been growing just insane, right? Like it just hit 2 billion users worldwide. In some countries, you have WhatsApp as being the app that's used the most to send messages. So it's just a great opportunity overall with the amount of people that you're seeing on WhatsApp. You have close to 65 billion conversations or messages sent throughout WhatsApp every day. That's insane, right? So you have to and you want to adapt your business to this new trend, to being able to have a conversation with your clients and potential clients, right? People want to have a conversation with businesses, and yet we as business tend to focus our efforts on email and other marketing channels. This is a great graph I found on Twilio which says that, while 89% of consumers will like to use messaging to communicate with the business, only 48% of businesses are equipped to connect with customers through a message. And that's exactly what we want to focus on with all of this course, in helping you better understand how to capitalize on your WhatsApp and messages, right? How to have better conversation with your customers so that you can have a better experience, increase your sales, and just the overall results that you're getting from all of the effort that you're putting in your marketing and sales as well. And so, how can WhatsApp help? In a number of ways, right? Like, you can reply to order confirmations, you can give product information or service feedback. If you're a restaurant, for example, you can reply to delivery statuses, or you can actually take orders. If you are a clinic, or if you are a real estate agent, you can actually schedule appointments, send information, videos. You can confirm that as well. You can resolve issues that people are having with your product or services. So there's different ways in which you can really capitalize and use WhatsApp. And that's one of the reasons why, we'll explain later, but why we use the funnel, and we set those stages up in a way that's going to help you drive traffic, convert people, retain customers as well, and manage your customer support. And those are, the four stages that we see as key and fundamental in managing WhatsApp. And so, what are the advantages of using WhatsApp versus other marketing channels that we've seen? One is less friction, right? So, on average, people will want to see your product between like 5 to 8 times before they make a purchase. And so people are going to go into looking at a social media ad, go to a landing page, keep looking at a landing page, go to a different website, then go to an email, go back to a website, look at a different ad, go back to a landing page, email. And so if you see, like, the user interaction goes everywhere. When it comes to Facebook Messenger or even WhatsApp Messenger, the funnel, you're actually switching to just one channel. And so you're moving people from either your website to WhatsApp, or an ad or a post or your fan page to WhatsApp. And so it's much easier, and there's just less friction with the way you interact with people, because I can, the moment that people write to me on WhatsApp, I can communicate directly with them, and I can also call them, and that's a huge thing. Like, I get people's phone number to call them. And so if you want to capitalize on all the marketing effort that you're doing, calling can become huge, and a huge difference whether you convert or not, for specific industries like real estate, like clinics. Like, there are a number of different industries that having that phone number can make a huge difference, and having that direct communication with the customer, it just becomes fundamental. And the other thing is, like, you have a shorter funnel, right? So usually when we talk about digital marketing or marketing in general, right, you have a different stages, and this varies, but you have the top of a funnel, your middle, and your bottom, right, where you have awareness, you're generating leads, you're creating interest, people are considering your product, you have intent, evaluation, purchase, and then you have your retention funnel, right? Or a retention stage. And so you have a number of different stages within your funnel. But when it comes to messages, right, or when it comes, whether it's Facebook message or Facebook Messenger, but especially with WhatsApp, what we've seen is that we can actually shorten that funnel into 3 big stages. One is prospecting, right? So I can start prospecting my customer, understand what their needs are, what are they looking for, how can I help them, do they actually qualify for what I'm trying to sell. I can actually convert quicker, right? So my pre-purchase or stage is smaller for that payment or that appointment or that conversion. So I have a second stage of converting the customer quicker and in an easier way, right? I have my retention stage. So once people purchase, like, how do I help them post-purchase, right? Like, how do I retain customers? How do I communicate with them in a more direct way? And how do I manage and organize my customer support, right? So, WhatsApp, one of the biggest things is, how do I support my base of customers, right? And how do I make it so that it's efficient as well, and actually have a good response rate with them. And so one of the things that we've seen is that you can actually shorten the funnel, and that's huge, right? So because I go from, having 6, 8, 10 stages to just 3 main stages in my customer support, and that creates a huge advantage for you in increasing conversions. And so the fact of the matter is that because you're reducing that, also it just increases your open rate. And it's crazy, not just with WhatsApp, with Facebook Messenger, it happens the same thing. If you look at this graph, like the click-through rate and the open rate for chat-based campaigns is so much higher than emails, than Facebook ads, and any other thing that you're launching. And so the response rate that you're getting from customers, it's much higher. And so because your open rates, because your click-through rates are much higher, your conversions are going to be higher as well. And so messenger campaigns can be more efficient, more effective in either making appointments, making sales, taking orders. Regardless of the industry that you're in, having a messenger and a WhatsApp funnel can just increase your conversions. And you can see that here, where you have the same number of visitors to a website or a chatbot, or in this case it could be WhatsApp as well, and the number of appointments that I have is much higher. And it's much higher just because I have better open rates, better click-through rates, and the better experience. So I do think that WhatsApp, it's key for businesses to start managing that funnel and understanding how to work that funnel to your advantage, right? And so what are the big entry points that you can have to generate traffic to your WhatsApp? And there's two, basically. You have organic and you have paid. And so going back to our funnel, you have your different stages of prospecting, conversion, retention, and customer support. And then what we've seen is that you have two main traffic points, or where you can direct people to your WhatsApp. One is your own, right? And so these are the free ones, right? The ones where you're not paying to bring people to your WhatsApp. And you also have your campaigns, or your paid ones, where you're spending money to bring people and start a conversation to bring new users. And so what we'll be talking about throughout this course is how to develop those traffic sources, right? So how do I build a call to action within my website so that I can bring in conversations, but also how do I tag that with my pixel so that I can remarket people who've clicked on that button? And so once people click on the button, I start a conversation, but I can also retarget them with Facebook and Instagram ads. How to change your main WhatsApp fan page button, right? So instead of calling you, you can direct traffic to your WhatsApp as well and start having a conversation with potential customers. How to use short links and groups within WhatsApp to bring and retarget people. Use short links to place on different parts of your website so that when people click, again, you bring traffic to your WhatsApp. And how to use groups to communicate with customer bases, with leads, depending on the stage of the funnel that they're in. And last, you have your paid entry points, which is basically ads, right? So how do I take advantage of Facebook, Instagram ads to bring people to your WhatsApp and really increase the amount of traffic and conversations that you're generating within your WhatsApp? And so how do you organize your conversations? Because this is a big one, right? And this is the second part of the course where we'll talk about how to bring traffic. But then I think one of the biggest issues that I've seen businesses struggling with is how do you manage those conversations in a way that makes sense? And so the way we've structured this is by having a process, right? So process works because I can replicate it. It's easier. I can teach people. I can show it to my team as well so that they can follow the process. So regardless whether I have one person, two persons, or three persons managing my WhatsApp business, a process, what it does is it standardizes how you manage conversations. And so what we'll talk about in the second stage of the course is what are the different stages of this process? So prospecting, conversion, retention, customer support. What do they mean? You're going to be able to download a table as well. What's the timeline, objectives, activities, tools, and how to use tags so that you can actually know which customers or conversations are at what stage in your funnel. And that's going to be easier as well when you're switching people that manage your WhatsApp, where you can switch. They can actually see at what stage people are at within your conversation or within the stage of your funnel, so it's easier. So the second part, we'll talk about how to manage your WhatsApp and how to use this process that we've developed with different stages so that it's easier for you. So the next steps are basically, again, we'll go and talk about one, how to set up your WhatsApp business. So if you don't have WhatsApp business, we'll go from scratch, right? Like how do the different functionalities work within WhatsApp business? How do you install it? How to configure your WhatsApp business, your profile, automatic, messages, labels, everything, and how does it work? The second thing, we'll talk about traffic. How do you bring organic traffic and paid traffic to your WhatsApp? And then how do you manage those conversations to bring in the best results that you can? And so that's basically in a nutshell what we be looking at within this course, and within those lessons is how we structure it. We want to make sure that you take the most advantage of this and that you really capitalize on all of that traffic that you're bringing to WhatsApp.